and I have started as an agricultural graduate. So let's start with the presentation. I thank the organizers and who have organized this training, 5 weeks online training on competitive examination for JRF, SRF, NET, and ARS examinations. So the topic which was assigned to me was NACs of preparation soil sciences. So first of all, I had to see what is the meaning of word NAC. So I just went to Google and I found out what does it mean actually. So it is NAC means to acknowledge in a negative way. So if you ask somebody, what are you preparing for? If you tell you're preparing for soil sciences, so they will acknowledge it negatively. That was my experience as well. So that's the meaning of NAC. And here we are there to break this paradigm today, how easy soil sciences is and why soil science is so important when you pursue it as a career for post-graduation higher studies. Before we go ahead, I just went through your training schedule where I thought that there should not be any repetition. So you are now well versed because from second to third and fourth, you all had been listening to how and why to prepare for ICAR JRF examination, current trends, opportunities, and how to get success in competitive examinations, how to prepare for MCQs and presentations by the successful students as well. So I assume that all of you are having a good platform and knowledge of what JRF examination is, what SRF is, what ARS is. So we can focus more on the details, how we should go ahead with our preparations so that your success percentage or the percentage to crack the exams are high. I have summarized my lecture in these different sets. So first is why soil science. And before you start, means before you consider taking soil sciences as your subject and starting your studies. So before that, what preparation should you have? Then junior research fellowship, senior research fellowship, ARS net, ARS, books that you should refer, tips for study, and additional reading. And I have made it interesting so that we have to be there for 1.5 hours. It will be nice to share whatever and what way you should prepare for soil sciences. Now, why soil science? 2012 World Food Prize laureate Daniel Hillel, he said the name of humans, Homo sapien, comes from the word humus. And all of you are aware what humus is. It is an important stuff in life, or it is important stuff of life in soil. So the early existence of human being is just because of soil. So this is a very important thing. Human habitation is thriving only on soils, and name of humans are coming from soils. Very recently, you all must be aware that Dr. Ratan Lal has been awarded World Food Prize for year 2020, and it is a matter of pride. Being an Indian, and he's also alumni of Indian Agricultural Research Institute, where he has pursued his master's degree. So I have completed my doctoral degree there. So it's a great honor to share with you all. You might be aware about this. And if you see the importance of soils highlighted nationally and internationally, International Year of Soils, World Soil Day, International Decades of Soil, government initiatives, Soil Health Mission, Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana, and it is a subject which is linked to most of the subjects in agriculture. So soil is a central or pivotal part of agriculture, and that's why I consider whenever you feel taking soil sciences as a subject of your research, career, studies, so you don't have to worry at all, because it is a subject which is going to have the importance in future. So there are a lot many things to come. So don't just um, get depressed by the fact that soil science is a tough subject. There is nothing career opportunities, and there are so many things. But you can see soil sciences as a great subject for the career opportunities in future. So let's start with the business. Before you start for the examination, I want that you should learn few things before you actually start studying. You know, the exams can be cracked more by knowing what not to read, not by what to read. So I'll repeat this. You can crack the exams when you know what not to read, because we read so many things, so many books, and at the end of the day, we get to know that this was a book which I should not have read, and which took a lot of our time and nothing comes out of it. So first of all, I would recommend that all the students should read the syllabus carefully, line by line, word by word. What we do is we abruptly start collecting book here and there. We go to library and get some books. We ask some seniors, we get some books and we start reading it. And after so many days, we get to know that the part which I read was nothing but it was not more useful. So you have to read the syllabus thoroughly, and it will help you a lot. You download the brochure, bulletin, whatever it is. I have given you the links as well. Most of you know it, what where it is available and what is the link. You can go, you can download the syllabus for ICR, SRF, JRF, PGS, postgraduate studies, at the same time for ARS examinations as well. This is very important as far as preparation is concerned. The tips before you start: you should definitely discuss with the successful candidates for guidance. For example, the webinar like this could be a good chance to discuss with people who have already gone through this process, which will be helpful to you for avoiding or ignoring the mistakes what they have done, and how you can be on a right path. Second is, you have to prepare a list of books and immediately buy it. Why I say it? Because it will save a lot of your time, and when you know that you have to read these many books, you automatically start planning that we have 1 year ahead, you have 6 months, and then how your preparation should be, how you should prioritize your books. It is very important to exclude books not to read. I'm repeating again that you should definitely know what not to read. Then only the success percentage of examinations or cracking examinations are high. I would suggest one more thing: repeated reading of books always help you rather than reading high number of books. If you read 10 books one time, and if you read only 3 books equally at 3 times, repeated reading of 3 books will always help you than reading 10 books at one time only. So it's always better that you have the list of books and you go on reading it time and again. In the brochure, you also read the guidelines thoroughly. Each and everything you should read: eligibility criteria, your fee structure, colleges and institution. So this is important before you start your preparations. One more important thing which I would suggest before you start is to gather the memory based multiple choice questions of previous year or the question papers of JRF, SRF. At the same time, memory based previous year question papers of ARS net. This helps a lot. You know, nobody will uncertain that you should know all the answers whatever is there in the memory based questions. If you go through, if you glance through the memory based question papers initially, you know what kind of questions normally appear in an examination, what kind of area is mostly focused by the paper setters, and what is your weak area, what is your strong area, and the pattern, which is the area from where the questions are repeated. And I see many a times, you know, the questions repeat almost 30, 40, up to 60% questions are repetitive in nature. So reading the memory based, MCQs of the previous year question papers is very, very important at the same time for ARS as well. But the important thing here where you can get these multiple choice question papers. So at end of this presentation, I'll also let you know what you can do exactly to go ahead with this. I would suggest that what happens is that was my habit. Whenever I prepared for an examination, I always made a point that when I come back home after appearing in an exam, I always chalk down and pen down the multiple choice questions whichever I had in my mind. I used to take 10, 15 books and I used to glance through it so that whatever questions that are there in the book, you immediately get to know that this was the question which appeared in an examination. You can write down that. We absolutely forget when you appear in an exam and you come home, you are not at all concerned about the examination. This is very important for your juniors because you are creating a chain that you have some question papers. If you don't do that, the same way you are asking the question papers from somebody else. So it is always better that whenever you appear in an exam, you um, chalk out or pen down all the questions, whatever you remember. I would suggest that you just take books and you just go through it. You'll remember so many questions. It's not required that you should remember 100% questions. You should, those which are difficult, very simple questions will, you will not remember very simple question, but tough questions you can remember easily. So going through book will be very easy. And I request that you do this for your juniors, or if you are again appearing in an examination next year, so it is very useful for you. So that is my earnest request. And that's how I have developed a question bank. And at the end, I will share with you how I have translated all this into a book. So through our contacts, I have tried to develop a question bank and which is helping the students as well. Let's start with JRF and SRF and postgraduate studies. SRF, normally, you know now that most of the PhD admissions are through SRF to deemed universities and other universities with fellowship, without fellowship, and JRF. To start with, I presume that the group which is listening to this presentation is comprising of the aspirants of JRF, aspirants of SRF, and ARS NET. So you have to look on these things very carefully. Junior research fellowship, the subject is physical sciences, and 3.1 agricultural meteorology or agrometeorology, soil sciences, soil conservation, water management, SWC, IWM, agricultural physics, agricultural chemicals, and environmental sciences. These are the streams. If you qualify JRF, you can get admission to. So I could take it from the information bulletin or brochure where JRF, SRF for PhD, how is the examination and all. So as you are aware that mostly for JRF, it will be a multiple choice question based or objective based examination, and which might also have the match the pairs. And the SRF for PhD, it is an examination which has objective type question papers, and negative marking for incorrect response is also there. So those who are listening, I assume that they know all these things. So we can straight away go to the syllabus. So this is a syllabus for physical sciences group. The first part, unit 1, is importance of agriculture, and this is general agriculture, vegetables, field crops, and their development programs, rural upliftment. So I have given a list of books for preparing for general agriculture at the end of this presentation. So that should cover this part. 3-4 books are there. If you read thoroughly, I think unit 1 should be able to address. Unit 2 starts with the soil sciences, volumetric, gravimetric analysis. And if you see, this part is especially important for the aspirant of JRF because the pattern of JRF is like this. Sometimes you will get most of the questions from soil sciences. Sometimes you'll get questions from only chemistry, which you have learned in 11th and 12th. Sometimes you get questions only from agricultural meteorology, which is often missed by the people. And once a while it happens that it's a mixture, all good mixture of all. So this part is very, very important to prepare. Here you can see gravimetric analysis, and these we have learned during our undergraduate degree, at the same time during our uh, 11th and 12th in physics and chemistry. Elementary concept of organic compounds, nomenclature, hydrocarbon, alcohol, aldehydes, and all. So we often miss this, and just because of not studying this part, most of the students lose their chance to get through JRF. This happened with most of the, I can say, students from Maharashtra, because the students from North India, they prepare a lot for their PMT examination. All they are very thorough with the uh, chemistry, physics, which is taught in classes and the schools for the 12th preparations. And we sometimes, are not well versed with it, and that's why we lose this scope. That's why it is very important that you all should concentrate on this part. And I'll suggest some of the books where from you can get all this information. So this is very important. 12th, physics, chemistry. Next is soil as a medium for plant growth, and it is all about soil. So we have so many good books, which I will give you the list where from you can read and all. And unit 4 is essential plant nutrients, and there are so many things. But the topics which you might lose are, you can see here, soil information system, GIS, GPS featured, remote sensing. These kind of topics are not normally covered in some of the books. Here you can see remote sensing and its application in agriculture. So most of the things related to visible uh, wavelengths, near infrared wavelengths, active remote sensing, passive remote sensing, these satellites, when was it launched, Landsat satellite, and there are so many satellites, and the thorough knowledge about that is very, very important, because you can get one or two questions from this part, and we often don't prepare it, and you rarely find this portion in some of the books. Very recently there are few books which has come up with this kind of information as well, and that's why I suggest you read each and every word of the syllabus, and you try to cover it from one or the other book. Don't just rely on whatever book I have suggested you. You just go through the syllabus, and if that topic, you have to at the end of the day decide and uh, introspect that whether you have covered each and every word in your syllabus. If you leave even a small thing, and if 2 3 questions are appearing from there, so it will be a problem for you. Now for JRF, I have prepared a list of books. Most of you might be aware about the basic book Fundamentals of Soil Science by Indian Society of Soil Sciences. It is a recently edited book as well, green cover book, you will get in market. We read the old edition, which was brown cover, which had a brown cover. So this is the most fundamental book that everyone should read who is aspiring for preparation in soil sciences. The second is Introductory Soil Sciences by Dr. D.K. Das. Textbook of Soil Sciences by Bishwas and Mukherjee. Introductory Pedology by Dr. J.L. Sehgal. Manures and Fertilizers, Agarwal and Yawalkar. So these 5 books will cover most of the portion that is related to soil sciences. Now what happens is, I will subsequently also explain while explaining the preparation for SRF and ARS. I'll request all the students who are listening to me to stay till the end, because most of the things are overlapping, and soil science is such a subject. Uniqueness of this subject is that it is dynamic, but yet it is static. So what you read for JRF will 90% be same for SRF, will again be same for the ARS examination. So whatever you read now will also be helpful when you prepare for SRF, when you prepare for ARS, or any other kind of examination, or for PhD examinations as well. So Subsequently, I will also explain while preparing for SRF and ARS why and what should be read from Dr. D.K. Das's book, which is Introductory Soil Science. What are the chapters which are very important and you should focus from there. So after these 5 books, you can cover soil science as well. This book is very important, Agricultural Metrology by Dr. S.R. Gadekar from Nagpur. Uh, Even when you don't see any portion from the syllabus about agricultural metrology, but if you see, the physical sciences group comprises of agricultural metrology as well. So you might come across the questions from agricultural metrology as well. So you should thoroughly study this book. Each and every line of this book is constituting one question. So you have to read this book. Many times it happens that the students feel very difficult to read some of the books. As I said, Fundamentals of Soil Science, Introductory Soil Science, Textbook of Soil Sciences. When you read these books for the first time, you feel like you don't understand anything, and the gravity of subject is such deep that it is very, very heavy to digest. It is very heavy to understand. In those cases, if you feel that this topic it's very tough for me and I am unable to read this or I am unable to grasp this, what you can do is you can refer to the book of Nature and Properties of Soil by Brady and Will. Here the topics are covered in a very lucid way, but it is not that you should read the entire book. You can read that, but when you have time, when your rest of the preparations are over, then you can think about this. And the glossary part of the Nature and Properties of Soil. So you will find at the end of the book there is a extensive glossary which has been given, and if you read this, you will get to know so many questions at the same time, a lot of information about the concept, about definition, formulas, and all. As I was mentioning, you also come across many questions from physics and chemistry, as the unit 2 was consisting of many topics from chemistry and physics. So I recommend, I read NCERT books for chemistry and physics. But what you can do is, if you feel that you are well versed with the books which you have read during your 11th and 12th, I will recommend that as well, because when you have read those many books many a time, so it will be very easy to catch this subject. The only thing you have to ensure that you cover the syllabus and you cover the topic. So here you can follow the books which you have read. It will be easy for you to brush up the subject. But I read NCERT books because it's covered very systematically most of the topics which are there. Last part is, we leave this subject many times. It is not mentioned. I went through this subject in the syllabus, so it is not mentioned there. Statistics. There's one book by Textbook of Statistics. I have given name letter in SRF or ARS list. I would not recommend that the JRF aspirant should read the entire book, but you have to cover the basic statistics, or the basics of agricultural statistics. What is measures of central tendency, correlation, regression, degrees of freedom, and it can be covered from many books. For example, the General Agriculture book by Munira Singh Rathod, I have given in the list as well. ESR Kantwa, there are some questions appearing from that. There are some books we used to read TNU notes, but now it is also available in one of the General Agriculture book by Roop Singh Maitri. So statistics, you will come across 1 or 2 questions from this. So you have to remember basic statistics, and we often miss this. If this is the design, or what is correlation, what is regression, range of correlation or range of regression coefficients, simple questions are appearing in an exam, so you should read that. I hope most of these things will cover, but there are few things, an extra reading or additional reading I have given at the end of my presentation, which will help you a lot. 90% of the students read all this and they are very well versed with the subject and everything, but that 10% group who reads some extra things will always have an upper edge in examination. So at the end, I have given some tips where you can cover some extra subjects at the same time, how you can effectively prepare the material so that you fill the gap between the unsuccessful candidate and the successful candidate. You also get the memory based question paper, and it will help you to prepare better. I am repeatedly telling you that before you start your preparations, you just go through the memory based question papers, because it will help you how are the questions appearing in an exam, what are the areas where from questions are mostly appearing, and it can be collected from different sources. Next is syllabus for SRF. Now, if you carefully see, syllabus for SRF, ARS and ARS NET is more or less same. So I'm covering both of them separately, but still the books and preparation will be more or less similar, except the preparation for ARS mains. If you see SRF, the subject code is 65, as you can see, soil science or soil science and agricultural chemistry. Different subjects here are pedology, soil physics, soil chemistry, soil fertility, soil microbiology, and statistics again. So whatever you have read during your undergraduation, even I would suggest for the JRF aspirants, if you can read some of the basic notes that you have learned during your basic agricultural statistics courses, that will also help you a lot. But you have to read it carefully. So these are different 6 topics which we have to cover. I will just go through this syllabus again. If you see pedology, the concept of land, soil survey, weathering, fertility capability classification, soil survey, benchmark soils, use of geographical information system for preparing thematic maps. Again here, what you saw in JRF, application of remote sensing in agriculture, here it is in soil survey and mapping. So if you see geographical information system, you may get a question in examination also, what is the full form of GIS as well. So see what level of preparation you should have. Geometric information system, geographic information system, and geographical information. So we should know what exactly it means is, and the different dimensions of that subject. So you just go through this syllabus word by word so that you know what you should cover in pedology. Next is soil physics. So soil physics is a very big and vast subject again, but you have to see that the common things which have been covered here, and what are the things which have not been covered in the basic books, which I am going to tell you, and what are the sources where from you can cover those. Here you can see aggregation, Stokes law, Darcy's law, thermal properties, soil, air, and runoff, characterization and evaluation, cause of land degradation. And you can see here land degradation, management of wasteland, concept of watershed and its characterization. So in case if you don't come across in your book the concept of watershed, you should definitely read the watershed concept from some other books. Next is soil chemistry. This is a very important part, and most of us are afraid of this particular section of soil sciences, soil chemistry. But otherwise it is very simple. If you go through the books and if you develop a concept, it will be there in your memory for long. Chemical composition of soil, soil colloids, pH charge relation, buffering capacity, inorganic and organic colloids, surface charge characteristics, clay organic interactions, hysteresis definition, hysteresis in physics, hysteresis in the chemistry as well, nitrogen, for different nutrients, mineral nutrition. It will again come in soil fertility as well. If you see here, different sections of soil fertility, plant nutrient, nutrient cycles, transformation and movement of nutrients in the soil, manures, fertilizer control order, nutrient management concepts like INM and IPNS, SSNM. You get the definitions as question even. You will get the definition and what is this concept. So you have to be thorough with the concept, its definition, what are the components, soil test, crop response, fertilizer application methods, irrigation water quality. As I was mentioning to you that irrigation water quality, this is an area which is not covered in most of the books. So you can find this in Introductory Soil Sciences by Dr. D.K. Das, if I'm not mistaken the name of the book. So irrigation water quality and different parameters and the definition chemical formulas are so nicely given in that book. So that is a chapter which should be read from Dr. D.K. Das's book. Fertility status of Indian soils. There are so many questions coming up from there. Spectroscopy and in soil fertility, it is very important. We often miss the analytical part and instrumentation part of the soil sciences. So here, if you see flame photometry, ICP, OES, mass spectrometry, spectrophotometry, uh, different double AS, potentiometry, conductometry, and these are the instrument and their principles. So these are equally important as far as exam is concerned. But we hardly cover it from the books. So I will just tell you where from you can cover all this as well. Soil microbiology. So soil microbiology in this section, you cover lot of things which is given commonly in many books. Fundamentals of soil sciences, an introduction to soil sciences by Dr. Das, soil enzymes. This is very important part. So when you go through this, when we uh, were preparing for examination, soil enzymes, this part was not there. But nowadays, with advancement in research, soil enzyme is has been studied a lot, and there is a great advancement in research. So this portion has also been added, and its analytical techniques, how dehydrogenase is analyzed, how phosphatase is analyzed, how it is originated, what is its function. So you can not miss this part. Soil characteristics for growth and activity, microbial transformations of different nutrients, cycles of important organic nutrients, and biodegradation, pesticide, organic waste, their use for production of biogas, manure, biofertilizers. Next is again statistics. So the way you have read it for your JRF examinations, or if you had to prepare for JRF, here you have to prepare. So JRF students can also follow experimental designs for pot culture, field experiments, for example, CRD, RBD, split plot design, LSD, statistical measures of central tendency, dispersion, correlation, regression, as I already told you, test of significance, t-test, f-test, and computer use in soil research and geostatistics. So here you have to look for it. Even it is not covered in many books, you have to really find out what is the application of computer. Many time it often comes that who is inventor of computer as well. Geostatistics, what is bioinformatics, why it is geostatistics, different portals that are developed by ICAR, Bhumi Geo portal, Krishi Geo portal. So these are all which are working on GIS, remote sensing, computer, which is used for soil research or agricultural research. So you have to find it out. If you don't get any information, what you can do is you can just type on Google even, and you can find out some related literature related to this, because these are the topics which has not been covered in many books. So general agriculture, why I said or why I mentioned here is because in ARS we hardly come across a vast general agriculture, but it is important as far as JRF and SRF is concerned. So these four books you all are aware and must be reading, I feel. But I will still repeat it. General Agriculture by Muniraj Singh Rathod, Objective Agriculture by S.R. Kantwa, General Agriculture by Rup Singh Maitri and Pancharam Mirza, Fundamentals of Agriculture by Arun Katan. Arun Katan, his book is subjective type. So you can read at first instance, and then you can go for the objective type books later on. So if you prepare these four books well, I think your general agriculture should be able to cover up. There are few more things which have been missed uh, somewhere, which you should focus on. For example, the current events of agriculture, ICR, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, the recent advancement made by ICAR, the name of project. I still remember the question asked to me was in the JRF examination, what is full form of NAIP? So you will get these kind of questions in the examination, and you have to really look for the website. You have to really look for the website where you can get the full forms. What is that? NAIP is funded by World Bank, or excuse me. Sorry for interruption. So you have to really look for the websites. What are the projects? What are the recent advancement? What are the abbreviations? What are the long form? So this part we always miss. So I recommend that you should see the websites of important institutes. At the same time, ICAR and Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. At the same time, you can look for some other institutes as well, which I'll let you know later, and the current events. So this covers your general agriculture. So there is one magazine published, Pratyogita Darpan or Economic Times. I strongly recommend that you should read all the recent happenings during the last year or last to last year. India ranked first, second. There are so many things in there. Crop insurance schemes, when it started, National Food Security Mission. So you can cover all this from there. Economic Times of last year of current year. Now coming to ARS and ARS net. So what will I do is I will cover JRF, SRF, PGS at the same time ARS and ARS net combinedly, because the syllabus is more or less similar. The only difference is SRF is objective type and ARS net is objective plus it has mains as a component. So once we go through all the syllabus, then comes the book. So it will be very easy for you to correlate, and you can plan your preparations from now only for ARS while you are preparing for SRF. Now I have taken a reference of the old examination where you can come across, if I'm not wrong, because these are the new things for us as well. We appeared in an old pattern examination, but what you have here is a preliminary examination, which is objective type with 150 marks, and the duration is 2 hours. Why I said duration is 2 hours, it is very important when you go in subsequent slide. ARS mains descriptive types 240 marks approximately, 3 hours duration you have, and Viva OC 60 marks. So here you have 3 hours and here you have 2 hours. This exam, ARS or ARS net, consists of different parts. So part A, if you go through the third point, part A will consist of 40 questions of 2 marks each, and in this part answers required will be very short, not exceeding 10 words. Part B, so 40 questions and 2 marks each, and here your time management should be very, very important. You should not stuck with some questions for long. If you don't recollect, or if you don't remember the answer, you just forget that question. You try to solve it in a second round, but don't waste a lot of your time. It happens mostly with the calculations. We feel that I'll be able to solve this calculation, and we waste a lot of our time, and you are wasting your time where you could have put that on simple questions. In first round, always solve the simple questions. So it should be very, very short, not exceeding 10 words. It will be 1 word gap filling or true or false, or there will be different combination of questions. Second will be part B, 20 questions with 5 marks each, requiring 1 or 2 paragraph and graphic explanation. So part 2 is 20 questions each with 5 marks, and here you will be given some space where you have to, there is some sort of noise. Hello, can you all hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So am I audible well?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you can continue, no problem.
Yeah.
You are well audible and it is nicely going on, no problem.
Yeah. So part B is 20 questions with 5 marks each, and you will be given some space here for writing the answers. At the most, you can go for one or two paragraphs or some sort of graphic explanation, which should be point to point. I will be covering this in one of my slide where it will be told to you nicely how you can address these kind of questions. Part C will be essay type questions or descriptive type questions. Each question will carry 10 marks, and that may have one or two parts. If you are asked to write about plant growth promoting rhizobacteria, so what is it and how it is useful? So this is the simple question I told you, but there will be some sort of components into that. So 2-3 paragraphs you can have there. So this is part C, and the answer should be written in a space provided. No extra supplements will be provided, and all the questions in ABC are compulsory, and the duration is 3 hours. So here, largely, if you see, you should not waste more than 10 to 15 minutes for the part A. You should be able to cover it as early as possible. Don't waste your time on the questions which are taking more of your time. Next, you should have a calculation that part B question, every one question for 5 marks should be written in 5 minutes approximately. And if you finish before that, it is more than sufficient. So 20 questions, if you have to finish in time, you have to finish well before 5 minutes. And maybe you can take 10 minutes for these each of the questions in the part C. And if you maintain timings like this, you will be able to finish your paper well in time. Now the syllabus for ARS is more or less similar. As I told you, pedology, soil physics, soil chemistry, soil fertility, soil microbiology, and statistics. To tell you now, earlier there were different disciplines, sub-disciplines in soil sciences. So somebody would get ARS in pedology, like I have ARS in soil chemistry, fertility, and soil microbiology. But before few years, a decision was taken by ICR, and then whomsoever is qualifying ARS, the discipline will be soil sciences. But the soil sciences will, earlier papers used to be different as well. Pedology, there will be a different question set. Soil physics, there will be a different question set. Chemistry, fertility, microbiology will be different. But now there will be a single question paper for all the disciplines. And once you crack the examination, you will be called as ARS scientist in soil sciences. Let's go through the syllabus. I have directly taken it from the website so that I don't miss anything. So the first part is pedology. So it is more or less same what we have seen in the JRF or SRF. So it has most of the things, but in a detailed way. And here, if you see application of GPS, global positioning system for soil survey type, study of base map, cadastral maps, aerial photographs, and use of GIS for preparing thematic maps. So these are some of the new areas which is already there, but you have to focus the things which are missing from the one or other books, and you have to fill that gap, and you have to prepare for that topic as well. You don't have to miss it. See, satellite imagery. So satellite, the knowledge about the satellite should be always well prepared. If any question about that come across, you should be able to answer. Soil physics. So soil physics, texture, structure, air, temperature. There are so many things in there. Runoff, methods, measurement, and factors. See, we have to focus more here on the subject related to soil and water conservation as well. When we talk about soil physics, soil erosion, soil and water conservation, these are the subjects which are often missed. So you have to prepare well for land degradation, soil erosion, its type, effect, mechanics. There are so many questions appearing in an exam from this topic. Runoff, the measurement methods, factors and all, characterization and evaluation of land quality indicators, cause of land degradation, concept of watershed, as we have already discussed about this as well. Soil chemistry, chemical composition, soil colloids, charge development, and elements of equilibrium thermodynamics. See, this topic, elements of equilibrium thermodynamics or thermodynamics. Now, if you see the recent book of Fundamentals of Soil Sciences, which comes with a green cover, I think the recent edition came in 2012, as far as my knowledge goes. Into that, the chapter related to thermodynamics are real or very simple chemistry, which was there already in the old edition, is missing. So you need to cover that as well. So you have to be careful that you cover this topic as well. If you don't come across thermodynamics related topics, it can be covered from the old books as well. So you can find the complete chapter. You can get a Xerox of it and you can read that as well. First order reaction, second order reaction. There's so many things which are related to thermodynamics in the sense of physics and chemistry in relation to soils. So we have read it thoroughly, but nowadays you don't normally read it. So you have to read that as well. Chemical equilibria, electrochemistry, chemical kinetics, organic, inorganic colloids, cation actions, donor membrane equilibria, and some of the topics related to nitrogen, potassium, phosphate, ammonium fixation, chemistry of acid and salt affected soils, submerged soils. If you see here, submerged soils, salt affected soils and submerged soils are very well, salt affected soils are very well covered in the books uh, like Fundamentals of Soil Science. But I see very few books which are covering submerged soils. If you read Introductory Soil Sciences by Dr. D.K. Das, you can find submerged soil chapter, which is so nicely written. So you should definitely read it. At the same time, one more chapter which I might miss and I feel it is important. You can see here it is not uh, figuring in the syllabus. Use of radioactivity in agricultural soil research. So that chapter is also mentioned well in the book by Dr. D.K. Das. So you have to read these chapters as well. Wherever I am telling that submerged soil should be read from there, you can focus more on that. And so many questions appear from these chapters, from radioactivity, from submerged soils, what is A value, what is L value, what is the half-life period of carbon, submerged soil, whether with submergence, pH will increase or decrease, what will happen to the conductivity with submergence. But we don't have a good reading material except that book. So you have to read submerged soil quality of irrigation water, at the same time radioactivity in agricultural soil research can be read from there. Soil fertility, I think we all know and we have discussed enough, but few things that you should pay attention to: essential nutrients and all. You have all the things over here, but use of isotopic pressures, you can see here isotopic pressures in soil research. As I was talking to you, you have to cover this topic. What is isotope, what is isobar, and then there are so many definition, half-life period, and what is the formula of half-life period, A value, L value, E value, how it is used in agriculture. So this part should not be missed. At the same time, bioremediation, you can see here chemical and bioremediation of contaminated soil. So there are these topics are not so widely covered in most of the books. So if it is bioremediation, you have to really see in one of the slides some additional material which you should read. I have given you there some of the topics which are very relevant to soil sciences, but these are not covered in the syllabus. So here you can see bioremediation, different concepts of bioremediation. What is rhizodeposition? What is phytoremediation? What are the different species which are phytoaccumulators? So you have to really check out for that. Here, carbon sequestration, which is very, very important nowadays as far as soil research is concerned. So what is carbon sequestration, carbon credit, potential of carbon sequestration, then radioactive contamination of soils. I was discussing with you about radioactivity, greenhouse effect. So climate change, climate smart agriculture. I have given the list of topics where you can just go through and find out definition, concept, so that if any question comes from that area, you should be able to answer it. And that is why I tell you that you should read this syllabus line by line, because when you read 5 books, there are likely chances that you miss some of these 4 or 5 topics from those books because it is not covered there, and you will lose 10-15 questions, and those 10-15 questions are decider whether you get the rank or not. So you always keep a copy of syllabus printed on your table, you fix it on your wall somewhere. You should be able to see it time and again, so that you will get to know whether you have missed it or you have covered it, or if you are not covered, what are the reading material where from you can read that particular aspect. Soil microbiology. In soil microbiology there are 2 sections, if you see, soil biota, and the first part is all about soil microbiology, biodegradation of pesticide, organic waste. So it is covered in many books. I'll just tell you some of the books as well. The second part is methods of soil analysis. Here you can see particle size distribution, bulk and particle density, moisture constant, flame photometry, different methods of soil analysis, double AS, instrumentation part. Many times during our preparation, since we don't have or since we don't get a reference book from those who you guide you, because I have already told you that you have to read these many books, and in these books these topics are covered you know very softly. It is not given in detail, so there are many questions appearing from this part of syllabus, and you have to really address this and you have to study it. I will tell you some of the books where from you can study all this, and minor things, carbon analysis, the change point color, 0.02 normal S2SO4 is corresponding to how many grams of carbon. There are so many small things you need to remember from this section, and you will be able to address those questions. And we often miss this part of the syllabus. We hardly read maybe some manual from somewhere which only covers the process and calculations, but we don't in detail read what exactly the principle of that method is, that the reactions what are there, whether organic carbon estimation is oxidation, reduction, or redox reaction. So we need to know the concept as well, and at the same time we have to note down the minor details of that topic as well. And finally, statistics as well. I already told you why statistics so important, and you see the syllabus is more or less same. Experimental designs, pot culture, field experiment, different CRD, RBD, least square design, split plot design, strip plot design, measures of central tendency dispersion, correlation, regression, test of significance. I hardly find very tough questions coming out from this, but it's very confusing. If you don't have a sound idea, what will be the degrees of freedom if the treatment are X and replications are Z? What will be the degrees of freedom in split plot design? So we often get confused while answering these questions. So you have to really practice well while preparing these sections. What is correlation, range of values, what is definition of correlation, and if it is 0, what does it mean? Which of these is a measure of central tendency, which is non, what is median, what is mode. There are so many things. RBD is used while doing when one way fertility gradient is there. LSD is used when 2A fertility gradient is there. So every minor detail you have to read, and you should not miss this. Why I tell you, as I already have mentioned, most of the people study soil science very well, and they address each and every question correctly. But few topics like statistics, then analytical techniques, then some of the chapters which I mentioned you that they are not there in the standard reference book. These, 10% of the part of this book creates a heavy difference. So what you have to do is you have to look uh, through this, and you have to prepare this well. Soil science you will definitely prepare well, but you have to prepare this part as well. So this was all about syllabus of SRF and ARS NET and ARS. Now let's see what are the standard books that we should read to cover this. This first slide, I have given the books which are common for all the syllabus. The first book is Fundamentals of Soil Sciences, Indian Society of Soil Sciences. Second is Introductory Soil Science by Dr. D.K. Das. Third is Textbook of Soil Science by T.D. Bishwas and Dr. S.K. Mukherjee. Most of the topics, 80% of the topics in the syllabus related to soil sciences, soil physics, pedology, chemistry, fertility are covered from these books. I strongly suggest that the first book should be read time and again by JRF, SRF and ARS aspirants. Fundamentals of Soil Sciences. It is, it is written simply as well, and it covers every information, whatever you aspire to get. One more important thing I want to highlight here is many times we are in dilemma. So what sort of data is correct? So I strongly recommend that you refer to the book Fundamentals of Soil Sciences. For example, I'll tell you what is the concentration of carbon or carbon dioxide in soil or maybe in atmosphere. So you'll get lot many figures from different books, but it is always better to refer only one book for some kind of facts. In one book it will be different, in second book it will be different, in third book it will be different. So the facts or the numbers, ranking, or the concentration, wherever you feel that it is given differently in different books, as a thumb rule you consider that you have to follow the facts and figures given in this book. So let me make it clear that you follow Fundamentals of Soil Sciences for such kind of things. If you come across some confusion, you refer to this. If what is the drinking water criteria for pH, what will be the pH? 6.5 to 8.5. So if it is given like this in this book, you follow that only. You don't trust on any other book. And this has to be read very carefully. You can say this is Gita of soil sciences in India at least. So every aspect of soil sciences has been covered in this book. Next is Introductory Soil Sciences. This is an equally important book and very nicely written by Dr. Das. And there are so many chapters which are missing in this book and covered in this book. As I said, you quality of irrigation water, at the same time, submerged soils, use of radioactivity and agriculture, and the glossary part of this book is also very important. So you have to read the glossary part which is given at the back of this book as well. Third is Textbook of Soil Sciences, T.D. Bishwas and S.K. Mukherjee. Now here you all keep in mind that the sequence which I have given is given intentionally. You don't just start reading Textbook of Soil Sciences by T.D. Bishwas, S.K. Mukherjee at first, and then at the last you read Fundamentals of Soil Sciences. So it is in decreasing order of importance, what you can say is. So Fundamentals of Soil Science is a very lucidly written, and it covers vast subject matter. That's why it is at top, followed by this. And Textbook of Soil Sciences, it is some sort of objective type book where a very crisp information, a crux of soil science has been given. So it's a very small book. You all might have seen, it's a brown cover book, small book, and every line of this is a question. So this you can read when you have a good idea of soil sciences, then you will feel like that you are revising the subject matter and you are preparing for some sort of uh, multiple choice questions. This is true for the students who are preparing for junior research fellowship as well. So read in this sequence. First read fundamentals of soil sciences, introductory soil sciences, and then go for revision with textbook of soil sciences. And every word of all this book should be read by you, and you should know it. You repeatedly read these books. Now, if you have time, now if you intend to read something more, what you can do is you can go for some additional reading material and for subject clarity. One more book is published by Indian Society of Soil Sciences, Soil Science and Introduction. Here what you can do is the chapters which are missed or the topics which are missed in fundamentals of soil sciences can be covered from the soil science and introduction. If you feel that it is repetitive, don't read the same chapters, because the information will be overlapping and duplicate information or same information will be there. So you can read the missing information or missing chapters from this. Or if you want some more clarity about some subject or any area, you can read this. At the same time, as I have already mentioned, for JRF students, wherever you feel that you are unable to understand some concept, you can refer to Nature and Properties of Soil Sciences, Brady and Wills, which is a very simply and lucidly written book in soil sciences. So if you don't understand anything here, you can refer to Nature and Properties of Soil Science, Brady and Wills. Now, these are common books. Let's go subject wise, because you anyway are going to read all these books, but there are some books which will be covering your sections. For first section for SRF and ARS. At the same time, JRF as well. JRF people can also read this section because it comes often in the exams. Only single book, an introductory pedology by J.L. Sagal will be sufficient for covering this book. So most of the libraries, most of the shops, and all the books are available online, so you can purchase this as well. So it is a reference book for all the aspirant JRF, SRF, and ARS, ARSNet. See, now I was mentioning there are some topic about GIS, GPS, remote sensing in soil surveying and soil research you will not come across anywhere. So what you can do is there is one soil survey manual published by ICAR, NBSS LUP Nagpur on different aspects of GIS, GPS. So you have to read that part only. So this is some additional material if you want to read this aspect, because definitely you are going to get, even you will come across the questions like what is the full form of GPS. So global positioning system, global position system, like that the questions will be. So you have to prepare it well from different sources, but this is one of the source for this. So something below this blue heading is you can read additionally. I would strongly recommend you read it, but if you don't have time, those who prepare late, they don't have time, so you don't have to give a lot of your energy here. You can focus on this. Next part is soil physics. So I also request the students who are preparing for JRF as well, they also should see this, because if they read those 5 6 books, and if they feel that they want to read something extra, and reading those book time and again has become redundant and monotonous, and they want to read an extra, those who are preparing for 2 years, so they can also go for these books, because this will help you to clarify the concept and your chances in the examination. For soil sciences, though it is covered in fundamentals of soil sciences, um, textbook of soil science, introductory soil science, but more details of soil physics, soil erosion, runoff, different concept, erosivity, erodibility are covered in textbook of soil physics by A.K. Saha and Saha. So you can say textbook of soil physics by Saha and Saha. So you have to read this book. If you still feel that you have time, and if you want to read some more of classical soil physics, you can go for environmental soil physics by Daniel Hillel. and the part about soil and water conservation, because in most of the books soil and water conservation has been covered lightly. uh, Slope, then bench terracing, bioengineering measures and all are not covered so deeply in most of the books. So there is one training manual. I think it should also be available in at the stores as well, or at the Indian Institute of Soil and Water Conservation. Training manual on soil and water conservation, soil conservation and watershed management, written by Dr. V. N. Sharda. So here you will get lot many details about the soil and water conservation. If you feel that whatever you have read, you're thorough with that and you still have time, so you can go with reading some more additional material like this training manual. At the same time, Environmental Soil Physics by Daniel Hillel. Coming to soil chemistry is a subject which most of the students are afraid of. But if you study it as a concept, you will really enjoy it. Chemistry is always wonderful, and those who were good at or who are good at chemistry will enjoy studying soil chemistry, because soil chemistry is a base of soil sciences. All the reactions, nutrients, fixation, so many things are happening because of chemistry only. This portion has already been covered in the reference book which I have told you. But if you want more clarity, I will strongly recommend that you read few selected chapters from Principles of Soil Chemistry, which is written by Kim H. Tan. It is a very famous book and available on the most of the agricultural bookstores. So Principles of Soil Chemistry, Kim H. Tan. If you feel that you don't want to read all the chapters, only selected chapters, for example, I have read mostly the instrumentation part. For example, how is donor membrane equilibria, X-ray diffractometry, differential thermal analysis, that sort of chapters I read. Organic matter and humus chemistry I read from there. So you can see, if you can read the complete book, it's well and good. But if you go for selective study, it will also help. But reading complete book will always help you while appearing for ARS mains examinations. It might not help you much with respect to objective, because objective will be covered from these three books, but subjectives and reasoning 5 marks questions will be nicely covered from the Principles of Soil Chemistry. The chemistry related chapter I told you earlier, you also refer to the old book with the brown cover. I think the edition is 2002 or 4, the old edition, brown cover book of Fundamentals of Soil Science. So the chemistry related chapters which have not been included in the recent edition should be read from there. You should not miss it, because chemistry questions often are also appearing from that chapter. For additional reading and subject clarity, you can go for Environmental Soil Chemistry, Murray McBride. But this is in two details. If somebody is interested, he can go for it. So as I told you, the sequence of book is very important. I have put the books in a sequence that the top book is very, very essential. And then you can, based on availability of time, based on your grasping power, your you know likeness toward the subjects, you can go for choosing the book, but in a sequence. Soil fertility, most of the topics related to this are again covered in the books which I mentioned earlier, but one book which is published by Tisdale and Nelson, Soil Fertility and Fertilizers, is very important. You should read it. There are good concepts which has been given, reactions, illustrations which are given. So a selected study you can do here. I have not completely prepared from this book. I could read some selected chapters related to nutrient mostly, N, P, K and all. But it is always advised that you should read this book thoroughly. If you want to read the soil fertilizer chemistry in detail, how the fertilizers are prepared, how urea is prepared, what is the chemical reaction, because it is often asked how single superphosphate is prepared, what is the chemical reaction, what is the process of urea hydrolysis in the soil. you can go for Fertilizers, a textbook by Ranjan Kumar Basak. It is a very good book. I have also read it completely, and I still remember that there are some questions which are given after every chapter where you can revise the chapters in the form of multiple choice questions or one word, one line questions. So these are the two books for soil fertility. See, already you have covered in three books. Here you are reading something which is additional. So these are two books very essential, because soil fertility, many questions are appearing from soil fertility in soil sciences, and that's why I have recommended these two books additionally. Soil microbiology. Soil microbiology is also covered in Dr. D.K. Das, Fundamentals of Soil Sciences, and briefly in Textbook of Soil Science by T.D. Biswasan Mukherjee. There are some classical books which, if you want, you can go for reading. I do not know whether you'll be able to read all the books when you have very short span of time, but I would recommend these two books or any one of these: with Soil Microbiology and Exploratory Approach by Mark Koenig, and Introductory Soil Microbiology by Martin and Alexander. So it's your choice. I suggest you should go either of this book. You can go through for some additional readings and clarity of chapters. Some more ARS aspirants should read this, because they can write it better in the examinations. Next is experiments in soil biology. See, as I was telling you, enzymes and related information, or the soil research advancement has happened in this topic in recent few years. You can say last decade or last 2 decades. So many questions are appearing about this dehydrogenase phosphatase, how you analyze it, what is the endpoint color, what is TPF, what is TTC, and what is the role of dehydrogenase, what is acid phosphatase, and how the basal soil respiration is measured, what is metabolic quotient, what is microbial biomass carbon. So these are not there covered in most of the books. So I would suggest that there is one book, Experiments in Soil Biology and Biochemistry by P.K. Chonkar and et al. So where they have covered most of the soil biology related aspects so nicely with the process and what is the importance. I will suggest that you should not miss this. Microbial and enzyme related properties will be covered from this. So this covers most of the syllabus of SRF. At the same time, ARS, NET. And JRF students don't have to go in these many details, but if they don't read this two first book, if they are interested, they should read this, because enzyme and all type of questions can appear in examination. So they can go for selective reading. Now comes in microbiology, there is one more section which is given, which is not related to microbiology exactly, analysis or analysis related. I already told you this is also useful for the JRF students. What is the endpoint color? What kind of reaction happens when you go for carbon estimation? What is the concentration of alkaline potassium permanganate, 0.32%, 0.60%, 0.80%? Such kind of questions are appearing. What is the reagent or indicator you are adding when you analyze carbon, or when you go for titration of carbon? These are the very minor questions and minute questions asked in the examinations, which we often miss and we don't cover. And in syllabus, it has been covered lightly, and in most of the books, except I think Fundamentals of Soil Sciences, there is a separate chapter on analysis of soil, plant, fertilizers, water. It is there. It has been covered there, but is not in details. So what I would request or suggest you that there is one good book which I also refer many times: Methods of Soil Analysis, Methods of Analysis of Soils, Plant, Water, Fertilizers, where principle of that method and calculations, there are so many things given in details. One more manual which is available, Manual on Soil, Plant, Water Analysis by Dan Singh, P.K. Chonkar and B.S. Dwivedi. So you don't have to mug up each and every detail, how many grams of soil should be taken and all, but very minor details. What is the reaction? What is the principle? Whether it is the redox reaction, or what is the pH of DTPA reagent, Lindsay-Norval reagent? What is the pH of AB-DTPA reagent? What is the concentration of DTPA in DTPA reagent? Uh, what kind of, if you have to estimate phosphorus in acid soils, what kind of reagent you should use? So these preparation has to be done very nicely. And calculations as well. Calculations I also missed. I'll tell you in subsequent slides where what are the things you should also additionally prepare for. But in analysis or analytical part, you should definitely go for calculation as well. Many times you will find some calculation if a soil has 2% of organic carbon content and or 0.5% of XYZ, what will be the total carbon content in 10 hectares of land up to 20 centimeter depth. So these kind of calculations are appearing. Nitrogen estimation, concentration of sulfuric acid and nitrogen content, like that. So you should definitely cover this topic. You should not miss it. Additionally, principles of instruments is very, very important for the ARS mains, because you'll find few questions related to what is principle of AAS, ICP OES, mass spectrometry. So I will suggest one of the Vogel's quantitative analytical chemistry, where there are few chapters related to spectrophotometry, mass spectrometry. If you have time and if you have that book, you should copy or you should get Xerox of it and you should read it, which is written by Mendham et al. So it is for principles of the instrumentation which are often used in soil research, soil analysis, plant analysis and all. As I was mentioning about agricultural statistics, there are so many books in general agricultural books, it is mostly covered. Kantwa, Arun Kattan, there are so many other books where agricultural statistics is covered, but I would recommend a textbook of agricultural statistics, which I had referred, Dr. R. Rangaswamy. It's a very basic book where you can go through the simple concept of statistics. It will help you throughout your life in any kind of examination, whether it is JRF, SRF, or ARS net. So once, rather than mugging up CRD for this, then degrees of freedom for this, if you understand the concept, you will never forget. So I recommend this book for preparation of SRF and ARS examination. But JRF student can also do this, can also prepare. But if they don't have time, if they feel that they have already covered from general agricultural books, I think that is more than sufficient, because very tough questions related to statistics are not asked for JRF, but the level of difficulty of asking question will be higher when you appear for SRF and ARS examinations. So time and again, I'm telling that statistics, I have also tried to emphasize on those subjects which mostly a soil science aspirants will miss. So these are very important. Now coming to, we have covered now for SRF, JRF and ARS, but it is specially for the ARS mains examination. Most of the question in JRF, SRF and ARS pre are objective type. So if you read the way we have discussed the books which I have asked you to refer, I think objective type of questions should not be a problem. But for ARS mains, you need some sort of different plan or preparation. So first is you start preparing for the mains examination when you are preparing for pre-exam. It doesn't mean that you start writing all the descriptive questions and all. It doesn't mean like that. So when you are studying for pre-examination of ARS, you are mostly reading for objective type questions, or you are studying the concept. But if you feel, you can just chalk out from different topics what are the 5 marks question that can be asked. For example, if you are reading DTPA extractant, what is the concentration, what is the pH, these are the objective type questions. But the 5 mark question would be explain suitability of DTPA reagent for analysis of micronutrient in alkaline and calcareous soil. So why is it important? What is the importance of pH? Why we use calcium carbonate, calcium chloride, I'm sorry, and why we maintain the pH? So this is the 5 mark question which should be. So when you're reading, you can just write down the question for 5 marks. So it will help you a lot when you revise. You don't have to prepare that time. You can prepare once your pre-exams are over. But at the end of preparation, what is going to happen is you will have hundreds of questions with you, and then when your examination is over, already you have prepared for the first part of the mains examination, which is for 40 marks. So you already have so many questions written by you that you feel that that will appear in 5 marks question. Then you can write down the answers from different books for that 5 marks question. So the preparation for this can also be done while, or it is automatically done. The only exercise that you just identify the questions which will appear in case of um, for mains examination for 5 marks. Very simple. For example, when you are reading flame photometer is used for estimation of potassium, sodium, flame color. But why ammonium acetate is used for estimation of the potassium? So it's a reasoning type question. So you should write down that, and you can later on identify the answer. Third point, I would like to draw your attention to this. If you read a lot and if you don't practice writing, you cannot crack the ARS examination. The writing practice should be done voraciously. Mock test or writing should be done a lot. What you have to do is every day you have to write. Otherwise, nowadays, in the world of computer, mobile, we lose the practice of writing. Many times when you abruptly start writing lengthy questions, your hand starts paining, your fingers, you are unable to write, your handwriting doesn't come good, and that can affect your performance in the examination. So every day you should write 5-10 questions of 5 marks, 1 or 2 question of 10 marks, and that writing practice should be done a lot. Initially you won't be able to reach the targets. For example, in the fourth point, if I say you set the timings for the question and try to attempt the questions, identify what you miss. So every 5 minutes you set one 5 mark question, you just write it. Whatever you are able to finish, you let it be, and after 5 minutes you take the next question, you start writing. Don't try to finish that. And like this, you have written 5-10 questions in a day. Then you identify what you have missed in the question number 1, question number 2, and what are the minute details you should have missed, you should have added in this small span of time. So 5 minutes are very crucial for writing that 5 marks question, and similar kind of practice you can do for the 10 marks question. So this is very, very important. If you don't practice writing, if you have everything in your mind and if you are unable to pen down on a paper through your hand, so you cannot get success in ARS examination. So you have to write, write, and write a lot for your mains examination. Pre-examination, you have already prepared a lot for pre and the first part of the mains. So here, writing is a key. We normally don't write much, and that is why we miss many of it. Now, it is not just writing and writing, but how should be your answer is. If you see the last point, try to give answers thorough in content. It is not that if something is asked, you write every details of it. It should be very thorough in content. It should be figurative. If you can give a figure, a flowchart, of tabular information, if you can give a schematics, formula, diagram, reaction, you can give that. And it should be very, very crisp. You don't like lengthy sentences. It should be addressed point to point. Then only because if even if you don't write bulk, you would not lose marks. You have to write what important aspects are there in that question which need to be addressed as a answers, and avoid the unnecessary details. You don't write unnecessary things. Now, this was all about JRF, SRF, and ARS examination. There are few things which I thought I should tell you, which will help you to bridge that 5 to 10% gap, which most of the time we miss. You see here new and trending topics in the soil sciences. I told you phytoremediation, remote sensing, carbon sequestration, conservation agriculture, climate smart agriculture, soil quality, soil health, soil resilience. These are different topics which I have given you. So though these are not covered here and there is a chapter soil quality and health in fundamentals of soil sciences where you can find most of the things. So you should know what is soil resilience, what is the concept, what is soil quality, what is soil health, what is conservation agriculture, where the concept has come from, what is carbon sequestration, who has coined that term, and who are all the active. You may find a question this year, maybe who is the World Food Prize 2020 winner, Dr. Ratan Lal. So who has devoted his entire life on topics like conservation agriculture, mulching, carbon sequestration, so and so forth. So you have to always keep watch on soil related topics. For this, you can also discuss with your faculty, staff. You can ask them what are the trending topics which we should do. For example, remote sensing, I told you, active remote sensing, passive remote sensing, carbon sequestration. These are the topics which will definitely come in examination. You have to check ICR website and other websites. For example, you can check some of the soil science related websites. NBSSLUP Nagpur, Indian Institute of Soil Sciences, who has developed Mrida Pariksha, Pusa estimator by IRI, soil test crop response, AICRP, where it is. So these are the minor questions. The chances of getting in an exam is less, but if they come, you have an upper hand in addressing them. So you should check the ICR website for latest happening. It could be any new variety or milestone variety, milestone technology, name of project, abbreviation, or funded projects, technologies. So you should definitely look, as and when you, if you are sipping a tea somewhere, you can check on Google, you can go to the ICR website, and these are the new things which are happening. When we give a lot of our time on social media platforms, we should definitely give some time on this as well. The part which is missed in most of the publications, I am happy to see that it has been addressed in Dr. D.K. Das's book, Journals and Published From. These are asked mostly nowadays. It wasn't there earlier. If it is plant and soils, so where is this published from? Netherlands. If it is Australian Journal of Soil Research, where it is published from? So you have to always keep in mind the journals and where it is published from. So this is a list that you should definitely prepare. Books and authors. Many times we confuse with this, the book and then authors. If it is textbook of soil science, the authors are T.D. Biswas and Mukherjee. We often miss the title of the book, and then we often miss the author's name.
Hello.
Soil science. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, sorry for interruption. Dr. Mahajan, sir, please we can conclude the session earlier so that we can have a question answer session, and also we have to start the next session also,
Okay,
sir.
okay.
Please.
I may have
Kind
two
request.
to three slides.
Yes, yes.
And
Okay.
then analysis of soil, plants, and water manure, analysis of soil biological properties, some tips to improve effectiveness of your study. I think you should revise frequently and regularly. Every week you should do your revision. Study in groups. I would recommend that you do the group discussion. At the same time, you prepare your own notes for better understanding and speedy revision. Prepare the tabular information. In fundamentals of soil science, there are a lot many tables. What you do is you just get a Xerox of that and you just fix it in your study room. And when you're brushing your teeth, when you don't do anything, you just go through those tabular information. Especially I used to do that. It helped me a lot. Chalk down all the chemical formulas, calculation formula at one place. It will help you to revise. There are some of the, I would suggest some of the multiple choice questions or objective type books. The first book I'm author for that book, Soil Science at a Glance. If you want, you can buy from Flipkart or Amazon, and Objective Soil Science from T. Ramesh, by T. Ramesh. I would also suggest that I have prepared one application for objective type books or multiple choice questions, Objective Soil Science Pro. I have unpublished it now, and I am going to launch a revised um, application which will be on the Google Play Store soon, and it will be a paid application. Earlier it was free application, so you can have more than 3,000 questions which are memory based, and you can just download in your uh, mobile. It is mostly for Android platform, and you can share as well. You can see here that you can share here. So, I would request all of you that I have created a competitive soil sciences group where you can join. You can send me a request where we discuss different topics. Since few days it is not so active because of lot many activities and coronavirus going on. But definitely we can always discuss many things through this group. So you can send a request to me. You can send a request to join our competitive soil science book on Facebook as well. And finally, I acknowledge my heartiest thank to ICR, NHP, and CAAST, and the initiatives by Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapit, Rahuri, Dr. Bapu Sahib Bhakre sir, who has given me this opportunity. At the same time, the host and co-host of this meeting, though, who has helped me to load the presentations and all, I thank them as well. I also give my thanks to Bipin and Abir. They are my juniors at ICR IRI, and I also request that you should visit their channel, Dr. Bipin Kumar's channel, and there are new happenings which are there. He is pretty active in general agriculture, most of the aspects, so you can browse through his channel on YouTube. My home institute, and none than teachers from Agriculture College Dhulia, Banaras Hindu University, IRI, and Vice Chancellor of MPKV Rahuri.